If you and your fiance are considering to get married anytime soon, I want you to watch this video right now. First, I would like to say congratulations to you both on your recent engagement and your upcoming nuptials. I know that besides thinking about your date of your ceremony, when you will host your ceremony, does the numbers line up? What numbers match? 333, 777. You know, your mind is overwhelmed with so many things, including where will you host your ceremony? Where will you host your reception? What venue will you be renting? Before you can do that, you have to think about how many people and who you will be inviting so that your venue can accommodate your guest count. Now, this is when you and your fiance will come together at the table and you begin to think about those people who are most important to you, and you combine your two families together as one on this piece of paper. Thinking about your grandparents, your parents, your children, your siblings, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles. And then you have those family members who are not related by blood, but they're related by love. Like your colleagues, your co-workers, those ones you've been bragging about your fiance to, and your best friends. And your list begins to continue to grow. But you can't forget your bridal party. They are guests too. Now, you can't forget anybody, because we know that during weddings, wedding times, and during with funerals, those are peak seasons for emotions, and you don't want to leave anybody out. Nobody wants to be left out, but you're put in this situation. So now that you look at your list, it's grown beyond what you imagined. 200-300 people. So what are you going to do? You have two choices, so you think. One thing, you're going to either reevaluate your list and start to chisel down on it. And then what most people do, they push the wedding back over a year or two, sometimes 3, just so that they can start working overtime or pulling from their mortgage, creating second mortgages, or pinching from their 401k, just so that they can find the thousands of dollars so that they can say, I do. For those who don't know me, my name is Stephanie Singleton. I am a licensed wedding and marriage officiant and notary right here in the state of Ohio, and I'm based in Akron, Ohio. I'm the founder and the concept creator of the micro wedding venues right here in Akron, Ohio, where I house 2 in 2 separate hotels. One where I'm standing, which is the Montrose Holiday Inn, Akron West, near the 77 freeway. The address is 4073 Medina Road, Akron, Ohio. And the second one is at the Blu-tique Hotel, which is in downtown Akron, the first and only micro venue in downtown Akron on the corner of Main and Market. And the address is 1 South Main Street, Akron, Ohio, 44308. I tell you about these venues because the whole concept is to help couples and families make their money and their time make sense. And I also help couples to eliminate any emotional and financial stress so that them and their families can now focus on what's most important, and that's their vows and those 2 words, saying I do. And next up, it's time to start thinking about hiring in those vendors. We already know that the venue is the most important and the most expensive vendor that you'll be hiring, now that you know your guest count. And even if you host your ceremony outside, this is Ohio, you need a tent. You don't know if it's going to rain or snow. So you have to buy the tent, you have to buy tables, you have to buy all the decors, which leads into having to hire those other vendors. Your decorator, your DJ, your wedding officiant, your photographer, your videographer. You need all of these people. But the second most important but expensive vendor you will hire is your caterer. Whether you hire a professional or DIY. But since you're going all out and you're having this Hollywood production, more than likely you're going to have a caterer. And most caterers that I know, that I've worked with, on the low end, they're priced by per person. So that's $15 per plate per person. The high end, 25 to 50 to 75 per person, which is per plate. Now, when you do the math, if you're good with math, you're probably better than me. You don't even have to be good with math. Put those numbers together. I bet you come close to a car payment, a new car that would come off a lot, that you're going to be paying for many people to come out to watch you and your fiance say, I do. If you have the money, I say, hey, have at it. But again, we're here to help those families who don't have the time, who don't have the patience, who don't have the large families, and they don't have the money. What's amazing about these micro concepts, this micro concept, it was birthed during the COVID. I relocated myself from Las Vegas during January 2020. I had my grand opening in February 2020. We cut the ribbon. A few weeks later, never got a wedding going because the COVID happened. We had to leave. We dispersed. The world dispersed. And then the social distance guidelines was set in place for 10 people. My first venue was in Talmadge Circle. I had no idea about the COVID. And I opened a venue that can only accommodate 10 because I wanted a small location. I wanted a small venue, and that was a starter. But do you know that the social distancing guideline was for 10 people, and that put A Princess for a Day on the map. And people start to rethink how they would operate in life all over. The courthouses were even closed. I did ceremonies through Zoom. And also, this was an opportunity that people could say, they had no choice but to save money and eliminate all the unnecessary things. And sometimes unnecessary guests. The most important people were there. And 10, you have to be important and special. So what I'm saying is that things start to make sense. But so no one's feelings was hurt because they had no choice. What we did is what I'm doing now. We brought in our stand, we brought in the cameras, and we had Zoom. And the rest of the guests Zoomed in that didn't make the cut. And some of them were okay. They just put on a shirt, some didn't, whatever. And they watched the ceremony by Zoom. But unfortunately, during that time, I had no place to send my couples, and I was very passionate about giving them the full experience of what I knew about when I was residing, again, working in Las Vegas as a wedding officiant. I wanted to send them off into happily ever after. I didn't want to just send them out the door and going out into the woods or going home and feeling like that day wasn't special. I wanted them to have the full experience. So I shopped around and I pitched the idea to the Holiday Inn, and then I pitched the idea to Blu-tique as well. It was so ideal for the Blu-tique to be in downtown Akron, which was a gem for me when I noticed that. They were 1 block north of the Akron Municipal Court and the Ohio Summit Probate Courthouse. Phenomenal. Guests could come right out, how I'm familiar. They come right out of the courthouse, go right into their venue right down the street. They can basically walk. And then they're in a hotel as well to have the full experience. The difference between the two is Blu-tique micro venue, we only accommodate our small micro weddings there. But if you want the micro wedding and the mini reception, then we would host that here at the Holiday Inn. We will take care of your food, but we take care of everything. We even have a bouquet. If you don't want to have your own and deal with all the reselling after the ceremony, I've taken care of that too. Everything that you can think of. You don't need a photographer. The reason you don't need a photographer because our venue is so intimate and small. And everyone here has their cameras that are phenomenal nowadays, right? So your family becomes the photographer. So you have pictures coming at every angle. You can eliminate that. You have your favorite music. You don't need a DJ. You can plug and play your music right onto your device and create a playlist. And attach your phone. Any family member can attach their phone to our Bluetooth speaker, and every family member can become the DJ at any point. You don't even have to order a bartender. We already have that covered. You just have to be there and smile and receive the love that is going to be coming and bestowed upon you. Yeah, you feel like you're at home. You really feel like you're at home. So because we just started downtown at the Blu-tique hotel. We've just started there, so I want to get a lot of more weddings there. That color is blue. So again, our name is Princess for a Day. That's Blu-tique. So men love the blue. Men are loving that blue. And I want to get more ceremonies over there for our kings for a day. I want them to feel like a king for a day. There are people who say, I am, like I said, I'm a wedding officiant. For some reason, some people don't want me because for whatever reason, I'm a female, I'm African American, I don't know, or I'm not a pastor of a church. However, I'm a state licensed minister. But for whatever reason, they want their own pastor. If you choose you want to bring your own pastor, understanding I am technically a princess for a day. I am willing to rent out my job to your pastor, and he can stand in my place and perform your ceremony. That is not a problem. But understand that's something separately. That's like changing McDonald's to Burger King. You're not a princess for a day. Your pastor wouldn't be a princess for a day. He's the pastor at his church. Now there's another alternative way that can be handled, where you can go off into your pastor's church and have him bless it, ordain it, however you feel fit, in his church office. Because I've had another couple that's going to do the same. Get married there, let that be your date. Leave that to be an elopement. And then come here. And that's where we can create you the wedding experience. I can perform your ceremony because I am included in the package, but I don't have to sign any legal documents. Your pastor has already taken care of that. So that's an alternative way if you want to have a spiritual wedding, but yet you want to have an alternative experience. It'll be like a renewal ceremony or anniversary ceremony. So again, it's family, it's love, and it's unity. I love bringing people together. I love bringing people together. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, marriage counselor, but I am a love coach. And if it was my opinion, I think having a big blowout wedding or a big blowout reception a year later during the first year anniversary is phenomenal, because then now you have something to share for them to sip and see, show and tell. You can show them how you've overcame those obstacles that's going to come in your marriage. Those good days and bad days. You had so many holidays to talk about. I'm sure you had arguments. You've overcame that. You've had sickness and sadness. You've overcame that because you made it over a year. You guys are still together. And I think that's the time you want to be a testimony in front of your guests and let them see that. Share that money for that. In the midst, you can start saving. And allow this time to be sacred. Protect your marriage. Have only the people there who have followed your journey, supported your journey, cheered you on your journey. And sometimes that may just be you two. It may not be anyone. It may not be your parents or your family. So take that in consideration when you are considering to have a big blowout wedding and using all of your finances and savings to have a Hollywood production. Have a marriage. Focus and allow you and those special ones who are most important and know your story, allow them to come and embrace you. As you say and focus on those vows, saying those special words, those two special and most important words that I have to hear as a state licensed officiant and notary. I do. I need to know that you understand and you agree with this consensual agreement, this binding agreement, this contract. Again, you're going to need some type of binding agreement to stand in court. Love doesn't stand in. This is when I put on my notary hat. You're going to have a power of attorney. You're going to have the beneficiary. You're going to have some type of paperwork, because again, love does not stand in court. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm passionate. It's not because of my whole experience of my own personal life, but I have been impacted by someone who didn't have the paperwork and they lost their voice to the next of kin. Those children of your fiancés or significant others, or those parents that you probably don't have a good relationship with, they're not marrying you. They're married to your spouse, your significant other. They're married to them. They are the next of kin. Common law doesn't stand. It's not creditable. So you're going to have to sign some type of document. So you'll call me whether it's for marriage or call me for notary. So again, my number is 330-333-0249. I invite you all to visit my website, www.princessforaday.com. Take a tour, a virtual tour of the 2 locations. And take that in consideration. Again, if you're lacking time, if you're lacking family, and if you're lacking patience and money. And if you like what you see, you like the packages that we offer, those +1s, I can have it so that they can come to your after cocktail mixer. If you host your ceremony anytime, Monday through Saturday, anytime 5 to 9 p.m., we can definitely include that in your package, as well as we have discount specials on our rooms where we have suites, our 1-bedroom, 2-bathroom suites. And I'm sure at Blu-tique we can get you some specials there as well. I am a mobile notary, so I do those services within the city of Akron, very feasible rates with that. If you're paying more than $5 per document, you're getting overcharged. We'll talk about that in another video. Congratulations to you both on your most recent engagement, and I wish you both much love and success. Share this video. Many people do not know it exists. Share this video, all right? We figured it all out. Figured it all out. That was 7 days a week. So if you find you want to do a tour anytime during the week, whenever there's a ceremony or event not taking place, we can do so. If you want to host your ceremony or take a tour down at the Blu-tique Hotel, downtown Akron, we can actually do so.